and the Philippines. Those two are things you probably don't associate together. But to every Filipino out there, anime has become this mainstream piece of media that every generation either watches or knows about. You have the Zoomers with their isekai and harem anime, the millennials with shonen classics like Dragon Ball and the Big Three, and even the boomers who definitely has heard about oldies like Doraemon and Voltes 5. The Weeb culture, I'd say, has become a large part in the Philippines, especially in the current generation. The Philippines also has a massive following of anime fans. I mean, it is the 13th most populated country, but still you see Filipinos everywhere. In YouTube comments, Twitter replies, Facebook, especially Facebook, and hentai sites, with the Philippines being number one in that category. Let's fucking go Filipino pride, baby. Hell, the person right next to you could be Filipino, or even you could be Filipino, and if you are, I'm sorry for you. I know it's hard being Filipino, but we'll get through it one day, I promise you. Now, I know countries like India and Indonesia also have a substantially large amount of anime fans, but in this video, I'm going to be mainly talking about the Philippines and the anime culture here. And I'm using old promo commercials from channels that aired anime in the Philippines, so sorry for the horrible quality. As far as what got me thinking of making a video like this, is because anime and even Japanese culture in general can be seen and experienced here in the Philippines, and well, no one has really talked about it that much. I also feel like the fanbase is larger compared to most countries, maybe not population-wise, but percentages-wise. I feel like a solid 70% of Filipinos have watched some anime here and there, and definitely about 90% has heard of it. Hell, I won't be surprised if it's 100. You might be thinking those numbers are way too big, but anime is a staple in Filipino pop culture even before the massive anime wave that catapulted it into the mainstream media in the mid-2010s. The massive amount of anime fans started ever since the 90s, and maybe even before that, with classics such as Voltes 5, Voltron, Sailor Moon, Ranma 1/2, Samurai X, Slam Dunk, One Piece, Dragon Ball, Doraemon, Pokemon, and a lot more others that still continues on. A lot of those animes were dubbed in local Filipino networks, with them being GMA, ABS-CBN, and TV5. I also have heard from my mother that they even aired English dubbed and Japanese dubbed anime in the Philippines before, so there's a wide variety of people that could experience and enjoy anime, with it having a lot of shows and being in a lot of channels airing from early morning until late afternoon. Most of the older generation here in the Philippines, if you ask about anime, something will definitely come to mind, whether it being one of the shows I previously mentioned, or Hello Kitty, which isn't an anime but hey, it's from Japan. Even my mother had an anime phase, like a heavy anime phase. I found out about this when I bought my first few anime figures. She asked me which anime they were from, and one of them was CC from Code Geass, so I said, Code Geass. When I said that, she knew what Code Geass was and asked me which character, and I said it was CC, and she went like, oh, her, yeah, I never finished Code Geass, but Lelouch was so amazing. Then after she said that, she immediately asked me about my other anime figure, but this one was a hard one because it was Ishtar from Fate Grand Order. And even to you non-Fate fans out there, you know how hard Fate is to explain, let alone to a parent. So I just said, she's from Fate. She replied with, oh, Fate? Fate Stay Night? And right then and there I realized, yeah, my mom definitely was a massive weeb back then. After that, I legit showed her my anime list profile because she asked for recommendations, and she even recognized some of the shows I watched. Shows like Evangelion, Kaichiwa Maid-sama, or in High School Host Club. She even had me explain the plot of Domestic Girlfriend. Yes, I am being serious. I had to explain to my mother the plot of Domestic Girlfriend. Now, unfortunately, she gave birth to me, so she had to stop watching anime to take care of me. But it would be nice seeing her become an anime fan again. Well, actually maybe not, mainly because of the large amounts of incest anime, which would be definitely hard to explain. Now, the anime fans here in the Philippines are not just your casual watchers. There is a large amount of cosplayers and convention goers. I feel like every other weekend there's a convention in the Philippines out there, may it be big or small, especially with the country slowly starting to open up after the pandemic. I went to a convention 2 months ago and I had the most fun. It may be a part of being able to go outside and hanging out with my friends after 2 years, but it still was an amazing experience. The people there were so nice and polite. Asking for a picture to a cosplayer was such a wholesome thing to see. The convention was filled with wholesomeness, except of course for the corner that sold cultured products, like doujinshis, body pillows, and nude posters. Half the people there also spoke in English, so that was fun. I was finally able to use my English skills outside of school, and I prefer speaking in English rather than Tagalog, because I'm better at it and it's way easier. If you live in the Philippines or anywhere in the world, in fact, I highly recommend going to a convention. It's so much fun, and you don't have to go to a massive one. I went to a particularly medium-scaled one with only a 200 peso ticket fee. I really want to go to a lot more conventions, but unfortunately, I don't have the money. So please like, share, and subscribe to make my channel monetized. Anime culture was already big in the Philippines before its initial boom in the 2010s, but I think it's going to get even bigger with the amount of streaming platforms and websites. It's a whole lot easier to watch and get into anime nowadays. You can now also choose what show to watch and when to watch it. Thank God for streaming platforms and pretty much the internet, because as you all know, watching stuff on cable TV isn't really that popular anymore. Here in the Philippines a couple of years ago, an anime TV channel called Hero TV was shut down due to a lack of profit. And this channel was the bomb. It aired Tagalog dubbed shows 24/7 and had a massive amount of anime. I watched anime on this channel a whole lot when I was a kid. It was sad seeing it go, but thankfully we have streaming services now. And also, due to some Filipino politics, one of the major channels in the Philippines shut down, with it being ABS-CBN. It has actually become really sad that not much anime is airing anymore in Filipino TV. Ever since my parents' generation, Tagalog dubbed anime would always be a part of every Filipino's childhood. You get to experience waking up in the morning, eating pandesal and pancit canton with egg and tender juicy hot dog while watching anime. I remember my first ever anime, the show that got me into this fantastic piece of media. It was Ashul 21 on GMA. I also loved that the Tagalog dub had its own unique feel to it that's different from watching an anime in English or Japanese. And plus the characters have their own names, which is just absolutely hilarious now that I look back on it. This is all from Yu Yu Hakusho, but most people in the Philippines know it simply as Ghost Fighter. You have names such as Eugene for Yusuke, Vincent for Hiei, Dennis for Kurama, and was originally mistaken for a female, Alfred for Kuwabara, Jenny for Keiko, Charlene for Botan, Mr. Valdez for Saiko, for Sakyo, and Tina for Sayaka. Then there's Toguro, who kept his name, but his voice is just absolutely iconic, with him even being a massive meme in Filipino shitposting. In the end, the anime fanbase and
Pa kayo mga putang ina nyo, hindi nyo ako matatalo. Mga putang ina nyo, paputa-putahan ng mga ina nyo. Magsama-sama kayong mga putang ina nyo, tarantado kayo. Fucking shit, fuck you, motherfucker.
is just going to keep on growing, with the current generation of kids having parents that watched anime in their childhoods, and especially now that anime is becoming mainstream and is becoming cool. Also, with the internet, it's a lot easier now to consume anime. Being a Filipino might be hard and awful, but hey, at least you have anime.